All right, so if you're a developer in South Africa, you already know. Accepting payments online, it's way more than just slapping a buy button on a page. Today, we're going to do a real deep dive into Paystack. We're talking about what it actually takes to build a payment system that's ready for the real world. You know, from that very first line of code all the way to a fully scaled app. I mean, on the surface, taking money online seems so simple, right? A customer clicks buy, their card gets charged, and that's it. Job done. But, as any developer will tell you, the things that look the simplest are usually hiding a whole web of complexity underneath. And that's because for any real modern business, just having a single charge API, well, it's just not going to cut it. You're not just taking a one-off payment. You're trying to build a reliable, trustworthy system around that transaction. And that comes with its own unique set of problems. So let's get real for a second. What's actually happening behind that one little click? Well, you've got to verify if the payment actually went through. You've got to reconcile your accounts, make sure the books are balanced. What happens if a payment fails? You need a way to try again, but safely without accidentally charging your customer twice. Oh, and if you're building something like a marketplace, now you've got to worry about splitting funds with all your sellers. These are the real-world challenges we're talking about. Okay, so let's pump the brakes on all that complexity for just a minute. What's the absolute quickest way to get your very first charge working with Paystack? Let's start right there with the basics, and then we'll build up from there. Now, one of the best things for us developers in South Africa is that with just a single Paystack integration, you get access to all the payment methods your customers are actually using. We're talking the usual suspects, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, but also instant EFT, SnapScan QR, Masterpass, and even Apple Pay. And the best part? It's all through one single API. So, right out of the gate, you, the developer, have a big decision to make. Which path are you going to take? On one hand, you've got the JavaScript pop-up. This is hands down the fastest way to get up and running. It's perfect for an MVP, and, this is a big one, it seriously minimizes your PCI compliance burden. That means less headache for you when it comes to handling sensitive card data. On the other hand, there's the API redirect flow. Now, this one gives you complete, total control over the user interface, so you can build a completely custom experience. But the trade-off is that it's a more complex setup. It's that classic developer dilemma, right? Speed versus control. Okay, so you've done it. You've accepted your first payment. That's awesome. But we're not done yet. Not even close. Now we have to build for the real world. And what does that mean? It means building for trust and reliability. Let me paint you a picture, a classic scenario that gives developers nightmares. A user types in their card details, they do the whole 3D secure thing with their bank, the money leaves their account, and then, right before they get redirected back to your shiny thank you page, their internet dies or they just close the browser. So, how does your server know to actually give them the thing they just paid for? The answer, my friend, is something called a webhook. It's basically a secure server-to-server communication tool. Here's how it works. Step 1, the user pays on your website. Step 2, Paystack servers send a secure behind-the-scenes message, it's an event called charge.success, directly to your server. Step 3, your server gets that message, verifies it's legit, and then fulfills the order. Look, this isn't just some nerdy technical detail. This is literally the difference between a happy customer and an absolute support ticket nightmare. Okay, but what about those really costly mistakes, like accidentally double charging a customer? How do we prevent that? Well, the key is to give every single payment attempt a totally unique reference. You can think of it like a memory link for that specific order. So if a customer's connection drops and they hit the pay button again for the exact same order, Paystack sees that familiar reference and goes, nope, I've seen this one before, and it rejects the duplicate charge. It's a simple concept, but it's what makes your entire system safe to retry. All right, so now that we've laid these solid foundations of trust and reliability, we can start to move beyond just simple one-off payments. It's time to level up. Let's look at how you can power more advanced business models, think SaaS platforms and online marketplaces. So if you're building a business that relies on recurring revenue, like a software as a service product or a membership site, then the Subscriptions API is going to be your new best friend. It's built specifically to let you create billing plans, manage all your customer subscriptions, and just automate those recurring monthly or yearly charges by securely saving their payment authorization. Now for marketplaces, the challenges there are even bigger. But Paystack has a really powerful solution called sub-accounts. With this, you can actually onboard your sellers, and then, right at the moment a customer pays, you can automatically split the payment. The seller gets their cut, you get your commission, all in one go. And listen, this isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's absolutely critical. It helps you avoid the huge regulatory nightmare of holding on to money that doesn't actually belong to you. Okay, let's talk about the part everyone really cares about. Show me the money, right? We've talked about how to take the money, but now let's break down the fees and, most importantly, how and when that cash actually lands in your bank account. So for local card transactions here in South Africa, the main fee is pretty simple to remember. It's 2.9% of whatever the transaction is, plus a fixed R1 fee. And just a heads up, that's excluding VAT. Let's look at the full breakdown here. You can see local cards are at that 2.9% plus R1 rate we just mentioned. EFT payments are actually a bit cheaper, coming in at a flat 2.0%. But what's maybe even more important is what you don't see on this table. There are absolutely no setup fees and no monthly fees. You only pay when you make money. So once Paystack has collected the money from your customers, what happens next? Well, the payout process is totally automated, and it happens daily. You can pretty much expect the funds to land in your bank account within about 2 business days. Nice and predictable. And that brings us to one last thought for today, something to really chew on. That pricing structure, the percentage plus a fixed fee, it seems super straightforward, right? But have you ever stopped to think about how that fixed R1 fee really affects different kinds of businesses? I mean, how does it kind of punish businesses that sell low-cost items? Think about it. A R1 fee on a 20 Rand transaction is a huge chunk. It's way different than a R1 fee on a 2,000 Rand transaction. It's definitely something to think about, and it's a topic we'll have to dig into next.